welcome to Getting Your Money's Worth, the show that focuses on value. I'm Judith West, and our guest today is Dr. Frank Egan, orthodontist.
Yes.
Yes, and very strong proponent of smiles change lives. Okay,
Yes.
I forgot exactly how you're connected, so you'll tell us now. How are you connected with Smiles Change Lives?
It's a national program, but I brought it to Long Island about 3 years ago.
So I didn't want to say director, but you're a participant would have been the better word. Participant.
Participant and also the local chairman.
Local chairman. Okay, so let's go back now. Smiles Change Lives certainly sounds good. In fact, it makes me smile. Tell me the mission of the organization and a little bit about it.
The mission is to connect orthodontists with good intentions of helping the needy with the patients that need orthodontic care. Severe, moderate cases that really change a person's life. And sometimes it's hard for orthodontists to connect with those people, and that's what Smile Change Lives does.
Right. Okay, so tell me something. First off, what are the qualifications? There is an income test, correct?
Yes.
And is this for any kind of just corrective orthodonture?
Well, because there's a limited number of patients that can be treated, we do try to stay with the moderate to severe cases.
Okay. When you say moderate to severe cases, is having braces on your teeth just aesthetic to make you look better?
Oh, absolutely not. It's something that creates a healthier mouth and something that will benefit these patients for the rest of their lives.
So there are good, solid medicinal reasons to have this done also.
Absolutely, and we're learning more and more about those benefits as time goes on.
Tell me, I've always wondered about this, Frank. I don't have to call you doctor, do I?
No, that's
okay. Fine. Are people born with crooked teeth? I mean, how come some people have straight teeth and some people have crooked teeth? Is it in the DNA?
It's a good question, and it is. Obviously, they're not born with any teeth, but they're born with the genes they're going to determine what kind of teeth they have, what kind of jaws they have, and whether that all comes together properly.
So is it inherited?
Mostly, yes.
Really?
Some things like thumb-sucking habit and early loss of teeth can also cause orthodontic problems, but most of them are genetic.
And it's not. And nutrition does nutrition have anything to do with it?
Only to the extent that if the teeth are lost prematurely, then that could have an effect. But otherwise, no.
Right. Okay. For those folks who may be thinking maybe they need smiles, they can't afford it. Tell me something. Should people shop around when they see their kid needs braces?
Well, they should find an orthodontist that they're comfortable with. I wouldn't shop around the way you would shop around for a car or a TV, looking for the lowest price.
So what is the best way to find an orthodontist?
Most people find it through word of mouth, asking people who've had the orthodontic experience.
That's kind of a play on terms, word of mouth.
So that's how we get most of our patients, is from other patients telling friends and family about their experience.
So is there like a standard therapy that most people get for braces, most kids get, that would then be like a standard price point? So in general, you could say the average price is there such a formula?
The treatment is really tailored to the individual, or at least it should be. And because of that, the price can vary. Even so, there are still ranges of fees.
What's the average range?
So for treatment that might last 1.5 to 2 years.
Is that the average duration?
For full braces or Invisalign, the fee is usually around $5,000.
Right. For the full treatment. Yeah.
Again, it'll vary from office to office,
right.
But usually that would include everything.
Right. So tell me then. First off, how do people apply to Smiles Change Lives?
They would go to the website, www.smileschangelives.org.
We'll put that up, right.
And there's an online application. It's in English and Spanish, and there are also very helpful people at the 1-800 number that's listed on the website,
right.
And they will walk them through the process. It's really easy.
So do the orthodontists do this work pro bono?
Yes, all of the partner orthodontists, and there are over 300 of them. There are over 25 just on Long Island, donate all the services, and that's what we want to do.
Do you look for some kind of, do you interview the parent and the kids? Do you look for some kind of commitment, or how
Absolutely.
do you validate the applicants that you take?
That's one of the things that makes Smiles Change Lives so strong, is that they do screen the patients. You mentioned the financial screening, but they also screen them for interest in treatment. It's a long process coming to the orthodontist, every 6 weeks for a year and a half, 2 years. And if people aren't committed to it, it could fail. And that's the last thing that we want to do is, donate our time and our services and have it end up badly.
Right.
So besides screening financially, they look for commitment from the child, from the family. People with financial need often have other difficult circumstances in their lives, and they may not be able to get to the orthodontist.
Yeah, but if, they might not even have an automobile to go back and forth.
Exactly.
So is that kind of transportation provided or anything? Or?
Unfortunately, no, not at this time.
So that's
one of the things that we screen. Right. We want to put the services where they're going to do the most good.
What's the average best age to think about getting braces?
We recommend a screening at age 7.
7? I don't think that they went down that young.
Most kids won't have treatment at that time, but it gives me as the orthodontist a chance to evaluate their growth, evaluate their development, and prepare for the future. And there are some problems that I prefer to treat at that age.
So if it's a little, but it can go into preteen.
Oh, absolutely. And in fact, the Smiles Change Lives program requires 10 years and older.
Oh, so so you start
10 to 18.
Yeah, getting braces on your teeth and getting your teeth straightened, I guess that's the right way to say it.
Sure.
Does more than just provide for better health care in the future and better looks. It has a lot to do with a kid's self-esteem.
Absolutely.
Right.
It makes a huge difference.
Have you seen these kind of blossoming factors after the braces?
It's one of the highlights of my job is seeing those kids that really need it, and how it changes them from being shy and hiding their mouth and
covering
face.
up their mouth or something
exactly,
like that. Right.
To being outgoing and confident, and it's amazing.
And
the
I read even
transformations.
where kids that get the braces even achieve better in school.
Absolutely, in school and even out of school in their careers. There have been studies shown that there's a beauty premium, and the people with straight teeth, beautiful smiles, actually get paid more for the same job.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm quite sure. So, going back to one of your earlier statements, you've been in practice for how many years?
17 years.
Right. Okay. And what got you started? How did you find out about Smiles Change Lives and go out and bring it into Long Island?
They had actually advertised in our professional journal, and I saw that, and it was something I was interested in. Like I said, it's hard when you're out there to find these people,
right.
and you want to be sure that they need it, and you want to be sure they're going to follow through.
Exactly, they're going to be worthy recipients.
Right. So it appealed to me right away. I called them up. At that time, they had separate programs. It wasn't national yet. And they told me there was none in the whole Northeast.
Oh, really?
And would I like to, bring it? So I did. And the first thing I did was reached out to other orthodontists. And I was just overwhelmed by their response. So many of them, wanted to do it. And it kind of took off from there.
Well, I suppose if you're an orthodontist, you have a soft spot in your heart for kids anyway.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, it would be a tough sell. But the organization itself has been in business for a long time, correct?
In Suffolk?
Yeah. I mean, but the Smiles Change Lives organization goes back before your
yes. Over about 13 years.
So how many? But it is national.
It is now. Yeah.
Right.
It started in Kansas City, Missouri.
Right.
Branched out to some other cities, and now it's in all 50 states.
Right. Oh, good. So tell me something. How many orthodontists belong to in your piece of the world?
About 25.
Right.
That's Nassau and Suffolk.
Yeah. So someone applies, and then the organization hooks them up with the orthodontist after they're vetted that would be closest to them in their area.
Yes, they do the financial screening, and then they also have a physical screening that we do now at the University at Stony Brook, the dental center there. And I and some other doctors there, Dr. Faber, will evaluate the patients for the orthodontic piece of it.
Yeah, well, certainly makes you feel good while you're done and see a kid smile, right?
Absolutely.
How many have gone through practice?
Well, it's the program on Long Island.
Yeah.
Right now we have about 30 patients in treatment. I'm not sure how many have finished yet. It took a while to get the program off the ground. So I mentioned getting doctors and then just getting word out about it. So in the beginning, the screenings were very small, just a couple of kids.
Does the office itself, or the national office, get donations to keep their own work going?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
That comes from.
Mm-hmm. They get donations. In fact, one of the things that we do on Long Island is a Thanksgiving Day 5K race that my wife and I started a few years ago, and it's the Smiles Change Lives Turkey Trot. And yeah, every year we raise a lot of money for Smiles Change Lives, and now we're going to be able to contribute to the national organization as well.
Right. So in some, for folks that are listening. This is kind of a passion of yours, right?
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah. Tell me about some of your cases. Anything stand out in your mind? Oh,
so many over the years. A lot of the things we were talking about before, and it's personal to me too, because in the beginning I was an orthodontic patient.
Oh, you were?
And I tell my patients, I had these vampire teeth, and
What's vampire teeth?
The eye teeth being up like a vampire. And I tell my patients, it changed my life, and that's what originally got me interested to be an orthodontist. Absolutely, I thought it was amazing, right. And so I want to give that back to my patients, and I see it all the time.
What's the average number of people, kids that need braces?
I'm sorry?
What's the average number? Is 50% of the population?
Oh, even more so. Yeah.
Because it seems to me like it's more popular, maybe it's just more available. I don't know.
And it's more available. It's also better understanding of the problems, and the treatment has changed. So that
has it changed? Has it modernized?
Absolutely. And whereas it used to be something painful and to be avoided.
I remember those rubber bands.
Now kids really want to have treatment. Sometimes they're disappointed if they don't need treatment. Right. So that's changed.
And also, on a side note, it seems like adult braces are becoming more and more.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Is that because adults had orthodontics when they were kids, and there was some slippage?
Sometimes, or they didn't have it, and they needed it, and for whatever reason they couldn't have it, and now they're taking advantage of that.
Right. It's amazing to me how many people don't smile because of their teeth, or mumble behind their hand, or something.
And then they get misperceived as being mean or sad,
shy, or bitter.
Right.
Okay. All right. Well, smiles changed lives, and then it changed your life.
Absolutely.
From that, you became an orthodontist, and you're helping to change kids' lives. Okay. Thanks for being on the show. It was a pleasure to have you.
Thank you, Judith.
I'm Judith West, and you're watching Getting Your Money's Worth, and we've just interviewed Dr. Frank Egan of Smiles Change Lives. Thanks for watching.